Hello, Christopher Brent here, coming to you today with a musical discussion on adults taking piano lessons. So, I am a piano teacher, and I teach students from all walks of life, both children and adults. And I get a lot of adults who are raw beginners that are a little intimidated at first, and they ask me, can I do this? Am I too old to learn something new like this, especially, a whole new language like music when I've never played before? And I definitely understand how it can be an intimidating process. And my simple answer to that question is yes, you can learn. And not only can you learn, but you can learn and you can do well. And music is good not just for kids, but for adults and especially for senior citizens, actually. So music is great. The piano is great. It could be another instrument that you want to learn, and that's definitely awesome too. I'm obviously speaking from the perspective of a piano teacher because that's my area of expertise, but yes, go ahead and give it a shot. Now, there's a few things to consider, right? If you're an adult and you've never played before, obviously you have to have an instrument to practice on, and you have to have the time to do it. If you're, in med school, or if you're trying to complete a graduate degree, or if you've got 2 or 3 jobs or something like that, and you've got 5 kids to handle or something at once while you're doing all these crazy things, then it might not be the best time, right? So you got to look at where you are in life and your schedule, and not that you need a ton of time, not that you need, 4 or 5 hours a day to practice or something like that. But you want to have that 30 minutes or so, maybe 45 minutes or so of daily practice. Some days are going to be more, some days are going to be less, right? But you got to be able to practice every day. The piano is not the kind of thing you can just get proficient at if you do once in a while and here and there. It's just like learning a new foreign language. If you want to do it, you got to have a sense of commitment to it. So you got to look at that, look at where you are in life. I think that's actually the biggest thing right there is, can you put the time into it? Because adults have busy lives, right? And it's different environment when it comes to teaching, right? When I'm teaching children, I can, get on their case, I suppose, if they're not practicing, and give them a rigorous, regimented form of curriculum and whatnot. I make it fun, too, for the kids. But it's obviously a different situation when adults come to me and they've, had a situation at work, or there's some sort of emergency, or their kids are going through some distress or something. They've got, I suppose, legitimate excuses, right? Which is a little different, than when you're dealing with children. So you got to look at where you are in life if you're an adult looking to learn. A lot of times, if you're retired, that's a great time in life when you don't have work to deal with anymore, right? It doesn't mean that you can't do it if you are in a situation where you're working full time. You can. If you are in that situation, just maybe find that 30 minutes or so each day to practice, and you'll get better and better each day with practice and, of course, attending your weekly lessons. And that's a big thing, too, that you got to be able to do, is go to a weekly lesson and stick to it, right? So if you have that sense where you can find the time to practice, and you understand that it's not something that happens overnight, and you have that sense of commitment, then you're in pretty good shape. Now, obviously, everybody's got a different sense of ability. Some adults have more musicality than others, and it comes easier to some than to others. So be patient. It takes time. You got to have that sense of patience, and sometimes that's tough. You want the results right away, or maybe you've done something your whole life that you've been really good at, and that's been your work, and you've just been at a high level, and then all of a sudden you're coming to this brand new territory, and you're a raw beginner, and it's not happening as quickly as you want. Just be patient. It takes time. It will happen. It's like waiting on an investment, waiting on a long-term investment. There are some get good, quick piano methods that are advertised out there. And for the most part, most of those I don't trust. Some of them are okay, and they are methods where you might learn a melody in your right hand and just kind of play a blocked chord in your left hand or something simple like that. And that works for some people. It's a little limited. You might not get the sense of joy out of it after a while. It can kind of be a quick thing for some people. You're not getting as much out of the piano as you might be able to if you sort of learn from a traditional perspective, but there are some methods that might be doable for some people where that would be enough for them, and I suppose that's okay. But you want to really avoid those kind of things and just simply find a good teacher and learn the basics, right? And understand that it takes time and practice. But if you're an adult thinking about it, don't assume that you can't play or you can't do it just because you didn't do it when you were a kid. That's something I would just hate to see, a person just not do it and kind of give up on it because of that. Now, you might not be able to play the same way as, a child learning at a young age and really spending years developing and whatnot. You got to look at where you are, what your abilities are, and kind of understand, I suppose, how far you can go with it, because everybody's just in a different place, right? And that's something that you can talk to with a private teacher. So if you're looking to learn the piano, please go to a teacher. Don't try to do it all yourself online and just kind of struggle back and forth, because that can be kind of frustrating. Have a teacher that you can communicate with, that you can talk to about all of the styles and pieces you want to learn. And, whether you are one who likes classical music, maybe you like Broadway stuff, maybe you like jazz, explain that. When I have new prospective students come to me, I sit down with them and talk about all these detailed things first, because I want to get to know them before we even really start our first lesson. So do your research and find a good teacher near you, locally. There are some teachers that teach on Skype too, and I'll do another podcast on the pros and cons, I suppose, of taking piano lessons via Skype. I think there's actually a lot of good that can come out of teaching over Skype if you're open to that kind of thing. So if you have any questions, please email me at chrisbrentmusic@gmail.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and visit my website at www.christopherbrent.com. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.